As humans, we all have our expectations for something we desire, especially when it comes to our finances. However, there are times when we always fall short because of just situations around us, like circumstances that we find ourselves in, like quarreling with our loved ones, having a bad day at work, just getting into an accident at home or even on the road. These things can often ruin our plans or our desires to achieve our goals. Now, when it comes to our finances, however, we always set our plans and goals in order to achieve them, like setting a financial goal or setting a financial plan in place. But we always have issues achieving them at times because we always want to be in control. That, my friend, is always the issue. There are times we have plans to save. There are times we have plans to make a transfer into an account, but then we fall short. And I'm going to explain in details to you. Stay tuned. Before we continue, I'd like you to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss the next video like this one. Because I'll be sharing a lot of important information with you that will help improve your finances and help improve your lifestyle financially. This video is part of a continuation video from the series of videos that I've been releasing lately that focuses on our finances for the year 2020. So if you haven't seen those videos, please kindly check them out in my channel, and also don't forget to subscribe. Saving to reach a financial goal always takes time. It takes patience, it takes persistence, it takes consistency. That is, you have to constantly remind yourself to make this a priority in your life. A lot of sacrifices must be made in order to save. You see those parties you want to go to that's going to cost you some money that you have to cut back on? Yeah, those kind of sacrifices. You see that new phone that you want to purchase and you're thinking if you could use the money to meet a financial goal that you've set, then you've achieved your year goal, your monthly goal, or your yearly goal. But there's something I want to remind you: the joy of reaching your goals. You know, there are times when you've always wanted to reach a certain financial amount to save up for something that you desired, and you reached it. And I'm sure that you were very happy with yourself. And I'm sure you're also happy that you made those sacrifices along the way. Remember, those sacrifices that you made are what led to your ability to reach the goal. So the question is, why is there a lot of people still struggle to reach the financial goals they desire or they set for themselves? The problem is commonplace. It's everywhere. We all struggle to reach a certain financial goal or set a financial or meet a financial target that we set for ourselves. And one of the reasons that is very common is the fact that we always try to remind ourselves to make a transfer or save an amount that could have been done automatically for us without even thinking about it. The problem isn't the fact that people don't want to save money or invest. The problem is our minds. Our mind is our greatest asset and our greatest enemy in reaching this goal. To be clear, we have two parts in our mind, or two sides in our mind. We have the conscious and the unconscious or subconscious mind. This conscious mind is obviously the things that are currently running through our thought process that you're actively thinking about. Whereas the unconscious or the subconscious mind is the things that are actually surrounding your environment that you're not consciously thinking of, but you know they are there, but you're not just doing anything about them. Until you take an effort to actually reason or think about them, that's when you actually bring them into your conscious mind. And this is the part that really deals with the human aspect of, working with our finance. You see, in the world we live in nowadays, we are constantly bombarded by ads or advertisements that are around us. You're on your phone, you're constantly seeing that new ad from Apple, or you're on your Instagram page, you see that new ad about the shoes, or you're on your Facebook and you see an ad about the phone or the laptop or the car. If you go on the TV, you're constantly bombarded with these ads. Indirectly, we are constantly programmed to spend as human beings. If you go to the grocery store, you have all these items lined up, fighting for your attention, all beautifully colored and placed strategically to make you spend. So unconsciously, we have been programmed to want to spend and buy and acquire things with the mind that it's going to make our lives better. It's going to make us do things better. It's going to increase our productivity. And this is the other part. Anytime you're saving money, you got to remember that you're saving it for a purpose, right? Most of the time you want to save to buy something. So indirectly, your mind is being subjected to spend, and that's the biggest problem that we face. Because here's the thing, you always think about, well, let's assume that you want to buy a laptop. You have various laptops you could choose, from the cheap ones to the high-end ones. So you're consciously thinking to yourself, how can I save to buy something specific? And because you're being programmed to spend, your chances of actually reaching that goal is very slim. So because our subconscious mind is constantly programmed to do things automatically, it takes a lot of effort from our conscious mind to make a change or to do something. Back to example of the finances, if you want to save some money, you have to remind yourself to make the transfer, or you have to remind yourself to not spend that money because you're saving it for a purpose. See, this amount of effort is not always going to win because we are constantly reminding ourselves to do something. The subconscious mind is that environment you find yourself that will constantly push you to do things without you even thinking about it. Like those ads you see that you just scroll through, it's already programmed in your head that that item that you just scroll through is available to you to buy or purchase. And if you have enough reasoning power to determine that you need that item, most likely you'll probably go back to it and check it out and click on it and maybe make a purchase. And that's just the subconscious programming of our minds. If you think about the things we do on a daily basis also, like using a microwave, you always go in there, set a timer, put the item in there and you leave it. After a while, you go back to it and check it out. We've automated that process because we know that as humans, if we are asked to remember the time to go back and check the item without setting an automated system to do the work for us, we would fail most of the time. I'm sure you've had your food on the cooker and it gets burned. Not because you intentionally left it there, but because your mind just deceived you. You got carried away watching that TV or playing that game, and your food get burned. So what do? We try to automate the system by setting a timer so that the food doesn't get burned. So why don't you do the same thing with your finances? Because if you do this, you realize that your financial future is already made if you can just automate the process for yourself. And that way your mind doesn't get in the way while you try to do this by yourself consciously. So to drive home my point, the first thing you want to do in order to save properly in this year that we are in, you want to make sure that you automate the process. Let's start with your paycheck. Once you get paid, if possible, make sure that a certain percentage of your income is set aside without you even touching it. That is, before it gets into your bank account, you already deducted a certain amount to go into a savings account or investment account for you. Once you do this, whatever is left is yours, and that also hits the note of paying yourself first. Once you automatically make that deduction, you have set yourself a step ahead because your mind doesn't get involved in the process anymore. And that's the way you can win this financial game. My next suggestion for you is the rest of the money that goes into your primary account, you should set up automatic deductions for certain purposes, like saving for your emergencies. You see, the first part, 10% that was taken away, should be used for things like a retirement account. Your goal should be not to touch that account at any point until your retirement. And the rest of the money that is paid into your primary account, you should have a certain amount that is deducted to meet your immediate needs, like an emergency fund, or if you're saving towards an item. But again, make sure it's automated. That is the key thing, because once you try to get yourself involved in the process, you will have an issue occasionally making that come true. Then the last suggestion for you is to make sure that you urge yourself to make that transfer after all your bills are paid. So if after you've paid all your bills, you have some money left, whether it's $20, $50, $100, whatever amount is left that you think you would not use for a while, I would say you should transfer it into your savings account as well. Now, by deliberately doing this to yourself, you are teaching yourself how to save. You are consciously programming your mind to save, because that effort of doing that will remind you of those habits when you even have more money to save as well, rather than spend it. So far, I've been covering this discussion about conscious and unconscious mind, and I hope that you found some valuable information in this video, because the goal of my channel is to share the tips and information that I find valuable that has helped me. So in order not to miss another video like this one, I would urge that you kindly subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, turn on the bell notification. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Share with me the tips and the tricks that are working for you in order to reach your goals. But like I said, this particular one that I've shared with you, which is automating your finances, will definitely change your life, because you have removed the ability to fight yourself. In order to do that, we need to be disciplined. And discipline is something that is sometimes rare. So we need to make sure that by automating this process, we have removed ourselves from that environment where we are constantly fighting for control of making those transfers.